Hello, welcome to this video on old photographs. I quite like old photographs and do collect the odd photograph album. Some of these are quite reasonably priced on eBay, and you can get for under £20. And when you study them, they have quite a history. Sometimes they're not known who owns them or where even they're from. But this one I picked up. It's got a lot of faded photographs in it, and some of them are quite badly faded. As far as I can see, we're looking at around 1900, and there's a selection of various shots of somewhere called Barton, and also some seascapes later in the book. But I'm just whipping through the pages here. It isn't a big one. There isn't a lot of photographs, but there's enough to have we'll have a close look at it anyway, page by page, and see what we find. So we'll come up with the first page, and on this one we've got 4 images, and the top left one is of the inside of a room, and then there's a house, a chap on a bike, and the top right one is a little unclear and looks to be a child. So if we look at the one in the house, it's annotated actually, the drawing room in the Weald, and this is quite an impressive room. If we have a close look at the Adam style fireplace, and we'll bring the colours up a bit, or the tones up a bit, you can see that there's some statuettes sort of supporting the fireplace, and then we have a large overmantel which is very Adam style, I would say. Anyway, look in the mirror, you can also see that the ceiling of the room is intricate, and also there appears to be an Adam style coving or corner piece on the opposite wall. Fascinating stuff. Okay, so the next one is a chap on a bike, and we'll try and bring the colours up, the tones up on this one, see if we can get any more information. So if we bring it up, here we go. So not a lot more information there. There appears to be a gate with some gate posts, and the chap's obviously being supported by a box for the photograph, for taking the photograph. It's a bit of fun. So, and the next one, this is of the house, and this one is annotated Hulswood. Where Hulswood is, I don't know. It could be in Barton. We'll talk about that later, which Barton and where Barton is. We'll bring the tones up on the image. It looks to be a winter shot, maybe south facing the right hand side. There isn't a lot of foliage on what appears to be there appears to be some growth on the actual house, but that's certainly not in leaf. Interesting entrance, although whether this is the back entrance and the front entrance is to the right hand side there, I'm not sure. Okay, on the next page, this one is annotated Cobs, which presumably refers to the horses. I don't know about horses, no doubt somebody will tell me. 4 images. The bottom 2 seem to be the same horse, and the top 2 seem to be slightly different. Of the 4, bringing the tones up, of the 4, the top right looks to be the clearest, and we'll zoom in on that. The chap, this chap appears numerous times within this album, so presumably he's the owner of the album. And he's showing off his horses here by his stables, because the stable doors are there. And so this is a close-up of the better of the 4 images, and we have our gentleman on the left, and I'm not sure what the white piece, a strip on the wall is there, but perhaps somebody could tell me that. Again, nothing in leaf on the wall there, so we're winter or early spring. Next page, we have 4 images. Top right one isn't so good. It's blurred when it's blown up, so we'll avoid that one. The other 3 are quite interesting. The annotations on this, What have we got? I think the bottom two, it says Hampstead Heath, which is interesting. And then on this one, we have RJT and HLT, so presumably they're brothers. And we have, well, the chap on the left is the chap with the horses, and the say appears. So let's bring this up. Now this comes up really well, and you can see this is quite an impressive doorway here. We've got looks like terracotta tiles on the walls. There's a ring pull at the bottom right. There's two stained glass windows. It seems fairly generic designs on those. And then there are some supports above the windows and doors, which there was maybe an overhanging balcony or something like that. Difficult to say. No doubt somebody will know where that is. So again, this is one of the ones that appears to be annotated Hampstead Heath and shows some ladies sitting on a bench. Bring the tones up a bit, see what it looks like. It doesn't show a great deal of detail, but we can see in the distance we have a carriage, horse and carriage, and some people walking to the right of the tree. Dress is well, presumably 1900, 1910. I don't know. Looks like that to me. I'm no expert on that. The possibly a Sunday parade or something like that. So this is quite an interesting one, and looks to be really quite badly faded. But with a lot of these photographs, if the fading is even, then we can bring it back, and this one comes back quite well, and it shows, I'm guessing, Hampstead Heath, some sort of meeting. We have a tall, like arch-shaped structure to the left there. There is a banner in the middle there, but unfortunately the detail isn't clear enough to read what it says on the banner. But predominantly men here. All hat. One, two, three women there I can see. Well, three horses as well. But yeah. So be interesting to know what's going on there. Obviously, some sort of meeting or whatever. So I'll move on to the next page, and this one I find quite exciting because this one helps us locate where we actually are. Now there's 4 good images on here, but the important one is the bottom right one. They're all annotated in the centre. As you can see, it says Barton. Top left says Bay Horse, I think, or Bay Mare. So we've got a name, presumably for a place, and we've got a church. So if we look at the church in a bit more detail, we can then if we look at the church, it has an unusual little tower at the top of the castellations on the tower. There is also a mini tower, a circular mini tower. Now, a Google search for churches and Barton identifies this as St Nicholas's Church, Barton Le Clay. Now, so that gives us a location, which is fantastic. We found out where we are, and we'll zoom in on the church a little bit more, but although there's not a lot more detail to be picked out from there. So Barton Le Clay in Bedfordshire. Yep. So excellent. So the top left one is of the Bay Mare. Not sure that this is in Barton. I will bring the tones up a bit, but it's a little bit blurred. Not a lot of detail. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next one, which looks really quite interesting. And having found out where we are, Barton Le Clay, we can now start looking for actual buildings that may still exist. I mean, we're talking about something that's probably 120 years ago here, so the chances are that there won't be anything left, certainly of this particular building, because it looks, to be perfectly honest, not in the best of condition. So if we zoom in a little bit, okay, here we go. Fascinating, really. It's obviously very old, even in the 1900 or whenever. And we also have one in the distance there on the right, the distinctive two dormers, or not dormers. But anyway, on the left we've got a Google image. I have managed to find a match, and it is Church Road in Barton Le Clay. This I haven't been able to locate, but presumably will also be in Barton. No doubt somebody will know where it is. Very distinctive house with stepped roofs. Again, we're not in summer. It looks like spring or late autumn. Next page, again annotated all four in the centre as Barton. So there we go, simple. We'll start at the top left. On this one we have another view of the church. This one I struggle to bring the tones up. It must have been overexposed when it was taken. But yeah, so we can see again Church Road, and if you look there now you will see presumably a similar view. The next one on this page is a very interesting one, showing some horses working. Well, they stood still at the moment for the camera, but presumably they were working. Looks to be mowing. Now I've tried to match this up with something on the map, and I think this is Barton Hill, and it is possible to recognise the hill on the left as far as I can, or very, very similar to what's there now. But an interesting picture showing the horses at work. Obviously working horses, but very stout legs, but look a little short. This one again, part of the Barton collection. Don't know where it is. We'll bring the tones up, see if there's any more detail. But again, I think the original was overexposed. So we have a hill in the background on the left. Style negates. It's very difficult to figure out where that is now, although I'm sure somebody local will be able to figure it out. This one I'm not sure about at all. I haven't been able to match this up with anything. Now we appear to have, as far as I can make out, the church on the left in the trees. However, if it's the St Nicholas Church in Barton Le Clay, I struggle to fit it in with the current layout of the village, so I'm a little bit perplexed. I did wonder if the negative had been mirrored, and maybe it was the other way round, but I'm still unsure. Okay, I'm going to leave this video here. If anybody is interested in seeing the rest of the album close up, please leave a comment in the comments section below. Otherwise, thanks for watching this, and I hope you found it interesting, as interesting as I do.